everybody. Thanks again for joining me here at the Golf Lab in Sun City West. We're going to do the board review again this year. It was about a year ago from now. We did this last. Some big concepts on this board I want to talk about. So the first one is process of pre-shot routine. We were talking about recentering, quieting the mind. So take a deep breath, do a body scan to feel tension, release that tension. Then we go into the initial target focus, which is establishing the line and then walking up. So initial target focus is when you stand behind the ball and you're establishing target line. And then the decision line is that line on the ground as you walk up to the ball. So that's crossing the decision line. Then I'm gonna aim the club face and aim my body, okay? So there's distinct difference between, and that's why it's different color. My pre-focus is what we consider being aware of that it's my turn to perform. So composing myself, doing a body scan, and you'll see golfers pull on their shirt sleeves and shake out their shoulders and do all kinds of stuff. And then you even see some that are really like obvious breathing and deep diaphragmatic breathing to try and take tension out of the shoulders and the chest. So that initial focus is me saying, okay, it's time to perform. I'm going to stop being technical. I'm going to cross that decision line and trust the club I'm hitting and the target that I've chosen, or the shot shape that I've chosen. Once I cross that line, now I'm aiming the club face, aiming my body, and then trigger the swing. So I gotta step up there and be confident that my body aim and my club face aim is good. So you're gonna see scanning the target, and then there has to be an okay or some kind of commitment to that, where I say, I trust my swing and let it go. So triggering the swing, we talk a lot about building that trigger. What is the trigger? Everybody's trigger is a little different. Practice how you play, also called brain off. So we've done a video on this before. Brain on, brain off is practice mode versus performance mode. Practice how you play so that you can go through these steps. Make sure you're relaxed, focus on the target, cross that decision line and shut off all technical thought, be confident and trigger the swing. So if you can make that routine more instinctive, then you'll be more confident on the golf course and you'll play better too. So that's a big one. Launch monitor protocol and hit location is how do we use the launch monitors when we do club fitting. So really that's just talking about the process of how we interview a client for their golf clubs and what they're looking to fix or what the intended outcome of a session is. And we talked a lot about hit location, especially with drivers. So bulge and roll in the club face creates gear effect. Assuming face is square at impact and the ball hits off the toe, it's going to curve to the left with a right-hander. If you hit high on the face, you add loft and the ball is going to launch high. Those details are really important during the club fitting process. We've got to know what your hit location is so that we can fit you for the right loft and the right shaft in a driver or a fairway wood. So the protocol of how we go through that process, very important. We train with the manufacturers every year to get better at that process and to see what's new in the industry, if they have any input that can help us raise our level as club fitters, as well as just understanding golf equipment in general. So a lot of good stuff there. The old PTR, power transfer ratio. So club head speed times 1.5 with a driver equals 90 ball speed, which equals approximately 164.7 yards based on 1.83 yards per mile per hour of the ball. So great formulas. make sure that you understand those and how we get those. If you ever question why you're not hitting it far, we go through the formulas. If you're swinging 100 miles an hour, that means 150 ball speed and about 270. So make sure that those numbers calculate. When those numbers don't calculate, then we know there's a hit location issue and you're not hitting it in the sweet spot, or you're launching it too high, and that's why you're not getting the distance you should. If you're having struggles with swing speed, then we get into some drills and exercises for that. Let's go on. Delivering the club. We're going to talk about that in another video here real soon. That we have the Mizuno Shaft Optimizer, which helps us measure how you deliver the club. And then I got into parallel feedback loops and positive feedback loops. So this is going to be the other long conversation for today. So the other part here was location of contact relative to the arc. If you play the ball back behind your center, the club path is coming down, you're hitting it on the downswing instead of on the upswing with a driver. So the ball position changes depending on what club you have. Irons, you play more in the center. Driver, you play more forward, not center of your feet, center of your CG. So make sure you understand where your hit or where the bottom of your arc is and where your impact is. So really good stuff there. Closure rate relative to impact. Now we have hack motion. We'll show you a video of that later too. Hack motion measures how fast my rate of rotation is. Rate of rotation is club face, and that's as a result of my forearm and my wrist rotating. So now we're measuring how fast the closure rate is and when my wrist comes back to square relative to impact. Great stuff. These tools that we have now are amazing. Positive feedback loops is what I'm going to end with. It's very important. You have to have a positive feedback loop to develop motor skills. If you don't, and you're a negative person and you have very critical of your results, then you're not going to have a positive feedback loop, and it's very hard to sustain good positive mechanics. When you're working on something in your golf swing, you need a positive feedback loop, or you need parallel feedback loops, which means that you're working on more than one thing, or there's more than one feedback, which is where training aids come into place. If I feel something in my golf swing and I hit a good shot, it's a positive feedback loop. If I have a training aid that makes me feel that, that's even better. So parallel feedback loops help develop motor skills and sustain that, so I remember what it feels like tomorrow. So positive feedback loops, really huge in the learning process. If you don't have a positive feedback loop, you probably will not maintain good results. You'll feel good performance from time to time if you're negative or you have negative reactions to your results, but it won't sustain. Those negative technical thoughts will always make you revert back to something else that you've had in the past. So really important. Got some other. This was a great picture of the sole design of a golf club. It blended in with some other stuff, but talking about turf interaction, very important. So again, we're going to erase the board, see what happens for the next few months. This has probably changed over a few times since we last talked, but it's a great way to learn, understanding the mechanics, and then being able to train and have a positive feedback loop to improve your performance. It's a big step in golf. So hopefully these things help you on your own.